Hello and welcome to the new season of Ask Us Anything About LinkedIn. I am Teddy, and today I am joined with Dari and Wushka back with full force. Girls, how are you feeling?
Feeling great. Summer is almost over, sadly. I'm back from vacation, so yeah, the first few days are extra tough, but it is what it is. I'm looking forward to everything that's gonna happen from now on. So
There's quite a lot to be happening, by the way. Summer break was a welcomed one for us, but I don't think that we got a lot of rest because we were making so many things for the next business season, as we call it, meaning for autumn. I guess that a lot of our viewers today are also fans of Bookmark, and they follow all of us, and they know that we have the upcoming Linked Academy HR edition, especially for HR people to answer to all their needs. And we're actually even having one great guest who is related to one of our hosts there. And I'm talking about Lushka. Is this your first time on this format or no?
No, it's my second. The Kimber last year was my first time.
Well, welcome back. You are marking all the best episodes. The closing of the season, the opening of the season. How was your summer?
Hmm, honestly, the summer went by so fast. But at the same time, it gave me a lot of special moments with my family and my personal life. I try to use that summer energy as an inspiration, and books were a big part of it. Mm, I love reading about personal growth. And this time I focused a lot on emotional freedom and good practices. Um, One of the books that stayed with me was The Universe Has a Plan. It really made me think about how we can let go a little and still keep moving forward. Mm, and here's the funny part: while most people go on vacation to get away from their boss, I actually took mine with me in the in the form
You
of
took,
his
you
book.
took our boss? Oh, I have this book.
So even in the beach, I was kind of working, but in the best way because I was learning and trying to improve myself.
Oh, that's really nice. Dari, you were yachting in the
yeah,
best way of spending your vacation. Did you bring a book with you?
I did bring a book with me. Yeah, Wushi, at least Wushi, is making jokes with me. It's a bit. I won't call it depressing, but basically, what I brought along with me was Arch Spiegelman's graphic novel about the Holocaust. Yeah, so it's not depressing. It was quite a serious topic to counteract against, like, oh, I'm on the yacht, I'm having fun, it's a bachelorette party. But yeah, it's been something that I was meaning to read for a long time, and I'm glad I finally got to do it. It's a very not quite epic piece, but it is a very grounding piece in terms of like graphic novels and things like that. A lot of people would say like, oh, for the first time, the genre was taken quite seriously because comic books they're for kids, but actually, Art Spiegelman breaking away from that and reaching such a serious topic was really was something. I think it's a book that everyone should consider reading, and it is easy to read because yeah, it's a graphic novel, it's a comic book, but yeah, you're taking on quite serious topics.
This was a very awarded book. I remember when it came out with the awards, and I have been putting it away actually for quite some time. This summer, I was you know this, I was by the sea, and my summer was all about codes. in the sense of breaking codes in true crime sense. I have a crime book with me all the time, and I'm trying to actually solve. I'm participating in the solving of one of the books that is. There are three people in the world who have sold this crime book that was printed with different pages. The pages are separate. It's called Kane's Jaw, and it's very, very interesting to put together back a story and experience storytelling in a quite different way. This was actually a book that was published because it was misprinted. So a human error, something that we try to escape with all our might, a human error actually produced this book. And I think it's fascinating, especially in the age of AI. I'm making this as sort of our bridge unintendedly to some of our topics that are related to AI that we will talk hopefully today on. But before we go into the age of AI and the new things that have just come out, I think it's worth to try to talk about what happened on LinkedIn during the quote unquote summer break that we're having, because in a way, I have started to see some weird things on my feed in terms of content. I see a lot more people talking about what content on LinkedIn should be or shouldn't be. Um, I find this strange because we have been talking about this for years and years. But I'm also seeing some changes on the way that I see content. And Lushka and I, we talked about this the other day. I am seeing more older posts. And you said you did too.
Yes, thank Teddy for the intro. So let me jump right in. I have to admit that when I first noticed this LinkedIn update, it drove me crazy. But did I stay annoyed? Not exactly. And tonight, I know I wasn't the only one. I'm sure many of you have seen this as well. Suddenly, your feed is full of posts from 2 or 3 weeks ago. For a while, I felt like almost everything I saw was old. And as a Gen Z, I expected things to be up to date. That's why it confused me. I'd see a post I want to engage with, and then I realized it was from 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that was frustrating. Um, so I started to think, why did LinkedIn make this change? What is the reason behind it? Um, be- Before judging the change, let's take a step back and think about what the feed is really for. In other words, what is raw on LinkedIn feed. Mm, First, the feed help us stay connected with our network. We see updates from people we know and people who are important for our work. Second, it helps us learn from experts and thought leaders in our industries. Um, we can get new knowledge and inspirations directly here in the feed. Um, and third, the feed is a place for discussions. We can join conversations, share ideas, connect with others through comments or etc. And fourth, it helps us build our own personal brand. Mm, when we post and take part in conversations, we show who we are and what we stand for. So that's the main purpose of LinkedIn feeds, to keep us connected, learning, engaged, and visible. Mm, I think we can all agree this sounds like the right social network. But what else makes it different? Here's on LinkedIn, it's about quality, not speed. Mm, this isn't place for breaking news. It's the place for posts that actually help us grow and develop. Mm, so even if a post is 2 or 3 weeks old, is it still useful for me? Well, yes, because I see it and I still want to engage with it. Mm, and here's something else. The feed is about opportunities, not just reactions. It's not about collecting likes or hearts. It's about getting new contacts, job offers, maybe collaborations, things that really matter for me. Mm, Also, think about this relevance is more important than recency. The algorithm looks at who we work with, who we follow, and what topics we care about. That's why other posts sometimes come back because they are still relevant for us. And what, but not least, LinkedIn gives good content a longer life. On other platforms, a post can disappear in hours, but here, if it's valuable, it can live for weeks. Mm, that's why we also recommend posting 2 or 3 times a week. Um, it gives you it gives your content the chance to unfold its full potential, and reach the people who need the knowledge you share.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think another reason why LinkedIn has been making this change with the longer the elongation of the life of post on LinkedIn. I think it's because a lot of people, or at least in my experience, when I'm advising other professionals, and they say, okay, but I'm dedicating an hour to write a post. I'm dedicating 2 hours to write an article because I don't want to just copy paste something from ChatGPT, let's say, and it will only stay for a couple of days. So why would I do it? And I think with this longevity of the posts, it actually encourages people to create meaningful content, as Ushka said, because otherwise you have no little to no motivation to dedicate 2 or 3 hours to write something if it will only stay for 24 hours, and after that nobody is going to see it. So I think I think this is a good step. I love seeing older posts, even though for a while, for me, I don't know how it was for you girls, but for me, I got really confused because I would see someone posting something that goes, today this and this and this happened about an event that I myself have attended, and I will take a minute to go back and realize that, oh, this is an older post and it's been recommended to me because I have attended the event, I was planning to attend it. This is why it's happening, this is why it was recommended to me. But at first glance we are used to seeing the new things first on our feet. This is something that is normal, is common, uh, and I actually continue to see the newest things on my feed. This is how I have tweaked it. I don't know if it's like that for the pair of you, or you have been suggesting the most popular, most relevant for you.
For me, it's actually like I haven't tweaked it at all. Honestly, it's something that I should consider because you both mentioned it, but in terms of the fact that there are some news or specifically event related posts that matter when it comes to timing, I am a bit skeptical of this update. But yeah, at the same time, Wushi mentioned it. You have a lot of thought leadership, you have a lot of like evergreen content on there, so it's not that big of a deal. I think it was a big of a deal because, yeah, basically we're used to seeing one thing. The moment it changes, we're all like, oh, you know, I don't want to go through that change. It's inconvenience. It's inconveniencing me. But yeah, is it really? I think, and the way I see it, LinkedIn is doing it along with a lot of its other initiatives, I would say, to keep up with all the other social networks. Like, we've seen it with video and the TikTok comparison. I feel like here we're seeing this sort of spice up as well, simply because other platforms such as like Facebook and Instagram have also moved away from a very time relevant feed, a feed that simply just shows you whatever is the most timely. And they are more popularity based. They're even at the expense of TikTok as well. But Instagram, people are just going randomized and getting content recommended to them. But yeah, I feel like that the fact that LinkedIn still stands out and still offers you simply the opportunity to look at the feed in terms of, when the content has come out, it's actually a really, really good thing. And I support it. I feel like in the case of LinkedIn, standing out is the way to go.
Yes. At first, it felt me annoying, but later I saw the value, because it's not about the date, it's about the opportunity the post can create. And my opinion was also confirmed by the only official communication on this topic. Business Insider asked LinkedIn what is happening, and the company explained it clearly. The change is not a mistake, it's a test. LinkedIn wants to see how long content can stay relevant and still bring value for us. They also explained that the feed is built from for professionals in mind, and the focus isn't on likes or views. It's on what can lead to real opportunities like new clients, job offers, collaborations, and so on. Another point of view is that LinkedIn also checks what matter to us. Mm, if we haven't seen the post yet and it's from someone or something important for us, it can still show up even it's older. And finally, LinkedIn wants creator to measure success not only by reactions, but by profile visits, new followers, and real results from their posts, because LinkedIn is different from other platforms. And here the goal is not to go viral. Here the goal is to create value and opportunities for your development, for business, for etc. But LinkedIn already received a lot of negative feedback from users about this change, and they decided to limit the test. um, but although still the platform continues to show older posts from time to time, um, because the idea behind the change remains that it's important content should not be missed just because it's not new. For LinkedIn, relevance and value come first. Even that means a post from 2 or 3 weeks ago gets another chance to reach you. And that's why I changed my mind. And now, instead of getting annoyed, I look more closely at what I might have missed, who it's from, what says, and what it could matter to my work right now. If this change,
How's your feed?
sorry.
How did you organize your feed?
um, Maybe my feed is organized recently, not not popular.
Mm, that's that's interesting. I think this is going to be one of my most asked questions in the next months. How are you organizing your feed? Because I think it really matters, and it speaks to how we are using LinkedIn and for what we are using LinkedIn, whether it's primarily to gain knowledge or it is more like a news channel. For me, it's a little bit of both, but on day-to-day basis, for me, primarily, this is my first and preferred media for consuming news from the professional world, and my own little bubble of creators that I value. So I quite like that. And speaking of creating something, I know you have a little surprise. You care to share?
Yes, we can take control to our feet, and after our seasons, I will share the simple steps on my profile, how we can set up the way we prefer to visualizations our feet.
That's great. That's actually, I think it's gonna be very useful. I like LinkedIn because everything that LinkedIn has is aimed, almost everything is aimed for usage and for improving on the experience of people. And let's not forget that LinkedIn is the place where HRs are ruling the game. And in this regard, there was something very, very interesting that happened recently with the HR assistant. Dari, do you care to expand on the issue?
Yep, Chetty gave me a very, very smooth intro, but for any of our viewers that are currently in HR, I do have some news to share. It was already mentioned once, but the more exciting news is we are having an academy, especially aimed at HR professionals coming up. So you should definitely consider that. We keep up with all of the news when it comes to hiring on LinkedIn. And just to prove it, I have a little bit, not quite a surprise, but I do have something to share with you guys. So it is about LinkedIn's hiring assistant. Um, it was launched in its beta version a while ago. It is AI powered. So I say a while ago. I think it was October, about 2 years ago. So some people got to experience it for the first time. Um, it is quite a useful tool. If you search it up on LinkedIn, they're going to give you all of these metrics, like how much less time people are spending, and hiring managers basically on constantly scrolling through profiles, on reviewing applications, how much higher the success rate is when it comes to reaching out to people. So, as I was saying, launched first in October 2023. Right now, by the end of September, we're expecting it to hit everyone, all of the profiles across the globe in English. And what it does, very, very simply, it helps you, um, first of all, get to the right candidates. So basically, you input who you're looking for, what you're looking for, and it helps you filter things out even further. It helps you reach out to way more people to find the right people, though. So, people have limited time, I would say. And what it really, really helps with is the fact that it runs searches across the platform with the help of AI. And with that, what happens is, compared to a human, obviously, it can reach way, way more. And it can uncover maybe, hidden talent that you didn't know was there. Um, and after this initial stage that helps you with, it continues on. So basically, it can help you with shortlisting candidates as well. It can go through their key skills, their key experiences, and basically filter out everyone that's really, really relevant to who you're looking for this particular role. And it doesn't end there. After you've after with its help you've made that initial reach out, after you've made that initial pool of candidates, it can also send out the first message. So, and we're not talking about that AI like, oh, hi, hello, whatever, if you're interested in the role. No, no, no. LinkedIn hates that, and it has implemented that hate, quote unquote, into the hiring assistant. So it does send out personalized messages. Yes, they're through AI, but they really consider, the name of the person, their experience, what they're looking for. And after that initial message that is meant to really, fill out the ground, whether that person is interested or not, you take on the conversation. And once you take over that conversation, basically, it reassures you you're not wasting your time when you're doing that person to person talk, when you're doing the really important things. Then that is when you jump in, and it's not AI doing it. So it's that good old mantra of, once you use AI, you should be using it for those automized processes, those simple processes that are kind of more wasting your time versus the really, really valuable bits that require human to human connection. But it's shown great results. Like LinkedIn, they themselves say it saves over 4 hours per role. 62% of your profiles are reviewed. There's a 69% boost, and then may acceptance rates, all those stuff that I also showed earlier. But I've talked only about the positives. There's some negatives as well. Yeah, it does save time, but in the end, is recruiting candidates, and here I'm asking a question to you guys, to anyone that's an HR, to anyone that's doing this profession, when you're recruiting candidates, is it really all about, the right skills, the right CV? Do you not sometimes just look at somebody, maybe based more on their I don't want to say the word vibe, but maybe, there's something about them that catches your eye. There's that gut feeling, and that's when you reach out. We know it, as people that have stood being interviewed, as also people that have interviewed others. Sometimes it's not about particular skills. Sometimes maybe you're lacking, but it's the willingness to learn. It's that attitude check. It's that cultural fit. And obviously, I don't think in the end the cultural fit is something that an AI can suss out, so to say. And yeah, here I'd like to also ask you girls, what do you think? Do you think it's how can I say it? Do you think that there's places where AI can't replace what a human can do in this process?
Definitely for me, because it's a field that requires a lot of emotional intelligence. Anyone who have ever had the opportunity to interview or had like a pool of candidates for a role, you know that it's not just about the CV. It's not just about the skills that you have. You also need to fit into the team. You are selecting a lot, and I hate that this is happening, but we are selecting more and more on, let's not say vibe, but the feeling whether this person is a cultural fit in the company and in the team, or whether this person is going to be a great addition to the project, not just by skills, something that you can see on LinkedIn, but also we are looking for like-minded people who would share our values. When it comes down to AI, we have seen, especially with the latest updates on ChatGPT and people complaining that ChatGPT was no longer so warm and and created this cozy feeling, and the company actually pushing for changes. And rolling out the sweet ChatGPT again. We know that AI cannot fully replicate human emotion, which is something that is very important in HR and recruiting and any sort of people management, and even I would say project management. So I think that here is where this gut feeling comes in, and you have to have a people's people to aid in the process. I actually wanted to mention something else when it comes down to AI mimicking people's emotions and opinions. I don't know if you have followed this trail with AI bots invading LinkedIn more and more for years, receiving, as you have said, these awful messages. Hi, I have an offer. Did you read my offer? Those were pushing a lot of people out of LinkedIn. But later on this summer, there was a flood of AI comments, something that people were starting to do. In our last conversation of the previous season, that was with Chris, you, Dari, and Chris, you were talking about how important is commenting, and bringing value to someone else's publication by adding yours. And now with the AI comments, and LinkedIn is really concerned about that, and they have stated that they will be cracking down on AI comments. They will be monitoring activity from users, but also from corporate pages. Now, we have seen this, Lushka and I, on several of our accounts, that the moment when something is published by the company, there is another company page commenting immediately. And it's always some sort of a generic comment that it's mostly congratulatory, but after a while it does become incredibly annoying because it's not something that adds value to the publication, and it just builds up this, I would say, resentment towards the company when you see that they're using AI bots in this, I would say, very inefficient way. um, what do you dare think about LinkedIn's crackdown on commenting? And do you think that this has actually the potential to escalate in a way that normal users, people who just like to comment and are creating a lot of comments in a short time, can be harmed by this?
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. You mentioned it, but we talked to Chris last time, and he did say, yeah, commenting is super, super important. But he definitely underlined that part of you don't want to simply be spamming people like, oh, congrats. Oh, I totally agree with that. Oh, it's such a good take. Basically, that's just, you might as well not have commented at that point. Um, your comment really needs to bring something forward to the table. It needs to start a discussion. It needs to get your point and your take on an issue. You know, I do get the fact that if someone's received an award, a lot of the times, yeah, it's hard to say something beyond congratulations. But also, LinkedIn is not there for you to look at somebody's award and simply say congratulations. It's there for you to look, at every step they've shared along the way to getting that award, at their insights, at the things that they've learned, at the things they share. And that's the post you should be aiming towards commenting, because that's where you can add your personal opinion. You can say how what is being shared is helping you, or whether you agree or not, expand upon it. It's very, very important to comment. And I think LinkedIn as well is really doubling down on that importance. Not simply, Teddy said it, but yeah, they're reviewing AI comments. They're making sure that, those sort of spam is taken away. But also something else that we mentioned recently in Ask Us Anything. Right now, you can see the impressions on your comments. So obviously, it is something that you should invest your time into, and you should invest your time with AI when it comes to this. It's just very, very complicated, I would say. I did a pause because up until like minutes ago, I was talking to you about how amazing, LinkedIn's AI hiring assistant is, and how it does all these things and it automates it for you. But the truth is, right now, living in the age of AI, what we should really double down on is when and how to use I don't know, Teddy, what do you think about, this sort of thing? Like AI, when should we use it really?
I actually took a small course during my break because I kept seeing all these ads that were telling me to please stop using ChatGPT as a Google, which I found out that I was for a very long time actually doing this. I was using ChatGPT for searches, but I wasn't using the full AI potential to actually bring something new. I was just generating information, and this is a very wrong way, I think, to use it. After that course, I am now convinced that in order to use AI efficiently, you don't have to make it do the tasks that you don't want to. You're not creating a clone of yourself. You have to have an advisor. So what I'm trying to say with that is you should train your AI to do the tasks better, not to do the tasks instead of you. Therefore, if I want help with a publication on LinkedIn, I am using ChatGPT not to write it for me. I'm using it to brainstorm on how to improve on the original idea that I have. So basically, how I view AI is like an extra brain to mine, not a polishing instrument. We are very, very sensitive to publications on LinkedIn, and especially think pieces that are clearly generated. This summer, actually, when we were reviewing a lot of pages for the top 50 companies on LinkedIn in Bulgaria, a project that we did collaborating with Forbes Bulgaria on, and we discussed it internally that we were seeing a lot of corporate pages generating content that is clearly made with AI, and it's very visible. And when these are big companies that has values, that have stories to tell, and you see them writing with AI in such a blunt way, it kind of diminishes the impact, because you know that this is a company that has things to say, but instead they are lost in the generic way of writing that ChatGPT and AI in general do have. But if you are using AI, use it as an advisor, use it as a brainstorming tool, use it to summarize research, to do all the things that are time consuming, and use it to improve on your creativity. That's my advice. Don't use it instead of yourself.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely agree with that. You mentioned it, but in the end, the idea really has to come from you. AI is there to sort of improve upon it. Maybe is help you brainstorm, help you polish it up. Maybe you have repetitions, or maybe there's some mistakes here and there. It's definitely a way for you to catch those mistakes, or to sort of think like, oh, I could have done this in a slightly different way, but it's not there for you to just I would say, from the get-go throw it into deep waters and make it do everything for you. Once again, a throwback to what I was talking about. um, Even with the hiring assistant in the beginning, you need to give it your qualifications, the specifications of what you're looking for it to actually do its job. So this really is, one of the main takeaways. if you want to do value, if you want to bring forward good content, don't just use AI. Have a clear idea of, what you want to do first, and then use the AI to sort of polish up what you already have. And one thing I can also say, going back to that, use what you already have. We've discussed it a lot with our partners, with our clients, because, obviously, every business, every organization is scrambling to just bring AI in to get the most out of it as much as possible. The one advice that I keep on seeing, that I keep on hearing from people, that I keep on seeing, Deloitte and McKinsey and all those big consulting names mention is basically, your processes, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what brings the biggest sort of like return value. That is what you should focus on. You already have something that works great, and you can improve upon it, you can build upon it. So, break down all the components of that process, and figure out which of these components can be automated. What can you outsource to AI so that a process that already works great can work even better, can work even faster, and people can do even more with it. AI isn't here to replace people. That's the good old mantra we keep on hearing. AI is replacing everyone, they're taking away your job. No, AI is not here to replace you. AI is here to potentially, make your job easier, give your job an even bigger reach. But it's us, the people that stand behind the AI, that direct it in the right direction, I would say.
It's sort of like an amplifier of our own voice and our own abilities. It's not a colleague that you are competing with. I like this. I like this point of view, Daddy. Um, I think that this was a very, I would say in my mind, very interesting episode. I hope that it was interesting for our viewers. I know that a lot of us are still on a summer break in our mentality. We're still in Italy or some other great places. But I'm glad that we did this episode that is opening for the new season, the first Friday of every month. We will be here with all the news from LinkedIn. We will be here with guests, more and more guests that will appear, and some of our other team members will join. I hope to see Lushka more often here as well. And honestly, I think this should be a wrap. I'm very very happy that we are once again going to have these Friday discussions. The next will be shortly announced today. That's going to be in November. It's going to be around my birthday. So, October. Wow, I am skipping over an entire month of October. This is the life of a marketer, by the way. If you are working in social media and marketing, you never have the right concept of time. Most often, I see both of you nodding. Yes, because you are planning content so much ahead that in my mind, it's actually Christmas already. So, yeah, thank you, girls, for being here. Thank you for everyone who is watching, and we'll see you on October the 3rd.